It's not me.
Good. A very late evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's post-game press conference following the match between North Carolina Central University and the University of Maryland Eastern Shore, with your final score, 83-76. Joining us are head coach of LMO and student athletes Gage Lattimore and Deontay Johnson. Coach, we'll start off with you with the opening statement from you, followed by questions. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. First of all, good night. It's kind of late out here, but before I get started, I want to thank all of you guys for covering, HBCUs, in particular the MEAC, throughout the year. You guys do an outstanding job of your coverage and staying on point, and it certainly never goes unnoticed. So I definitely appreciate you guys. It's MEAC basketball, right? It's that time of year, man, and I've been in a lot of these games. My challenge as a coach was they haven't been in a lot of these games, right? So as you're trying to prepare them for these moments in November and December, they kind of looking at you crazy, think coach is tripping and all of these things, and now they actually in these situations. We didn't start the game off well. We didn't finish the game off well, and that's on me. That's complete ownership on me. Even at the end of the game, we didn't necessarily execute when Staples hit the game-winning three. But to our credit, game time three, yeah. But to our credit, we responded. A lot of times that can hurt your feelings so much that you get so emotional that it lingers into overtime. But we made significant plays at significant times down the stretch. I thought our pressure would eventually wear them out. And because we turned them over a lot of times, both games. We didn't turn them over as much this time. And they're bigger, faster, and stronger, right? So we were giving up a lot of length, size, and weight. And I thought going zone at the end kind of put them on their heels a little bit, right? And we only did it out of necessity because we were in foul trouble. But hats off to these two guys beside me. They made some critical plays at critical times, and this time of year, that's what's needed. Questions?
Thank you, Coach. At this time, the floor is now open for questions following the head coach and student athletes.
Coach, even though you said that you didn't start the game the way you guys would have hoped, the way you guys played still shows some resilience. There was a 15-point, you guys were behind 15 points in the first half, and you brought that down and made it like a 6-point game to end the first half. How did you guys keep that momentum going into the second half for you guys to take that lead?
Emotional maturity. We understand that basketball is a game of runs, and it's so cliche when everyone says that. And it's hard to respond when you're on the downside of that. And we were on the downside of that. We just weren't playing well. We was out of character. We was rushing. We was trying to shoot the ball in 5 seconds, right? And we just wasn't aggressive. And I just thought they settled down before we settled down, right? And a lot of times in these tournaments, it's the team that settles down first that looks more natural. I thought we responded. I told them at halftime, look, that's the best they're going to play. We got their best shot, so now let's see if they can handle our best shot. And this guy got us started in the second half by initiating a steal, and that put them on their heels a little bit. And so now they had to respond to our run. This guy hit some huge shots that, he got back in the flow, and it kind of broke it open a little bit and gave us a cushion. And we ain't finished it the way we wanted to, but eventually we did.
Coach, you beat UMES by 2, then by 4, then it took overtime today. What's the common thread there on why your team has the advantage in those close games against this team?
We just fought, right? And the ball just bounced our way. We beat them 3 times, but they could have very well beat us 3 times. And that's what happens in this league. During this time, you're not fooling anyone. Right? Like, they know exactly what you're doing. You know exactly what they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. And it becomes a war of attrition. So it's the plays that don't show up on the stat sheet that matters the most, right? The hard plays, the tough plays, the 50-50 balls, the diving on the floor. Those are the things. So I just think at the end of the day, that was the ultimate separator. But we just thought our advantage was being able to apply some pressure, right, and make them extend a little bit. For those of you who don't know, we lost our best player maybe a month and a half ago, Corey. And so I thought he was going to be the player of the year in the league. He was really that good. So he made all of us better. He made me look better as a coach. He made these guys better. He made everyone better. And we had to learn how to play without him. And so we're trying to make up his 14, 15-point difference and manufacture those points in other ways. And, we're just doing it in the invisible slots of the game.
Sir.
Kenyatta Bill, Dr. Mills, inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Congratulations on the win and to
Thank you.
in advance. I wanted to ask you first and then the players in terms of their thoughts. You got a late run in that first half. It seemed to give you a little bit of momentum. You were able to go to the locker room and really change some things. Can you talk about a little more inside of what that was and your ability to work with your assistant coaches to really reflect on what's going on in the game and then converse that with your players?
I thought that run, at the end of the first half was extremely significant. I thought we would have went in and down 4. I think we fouled with like 0.5 seconds on the clock or whatever. But it was just they were just quicker to the ball, right? And so when you're doing those things, I looked up and it was 18-4, and I was like, good gracious, this is not who we are. And I just told them, look, man, if we're going to go home, let's empty the clip, for lack of a better word. I'm sorry, but just leave everything out there on the floor pretty much. And so once they settled down, and it takes him making a shot and him, making a splash play, and everyone got to gather their confidence collectively at the same time. And I thought that kind of put us over the hump and got us back in the game. And it got our crowd back in the game. I didn't know it was any NCCU fans in here for the first 15 minutes, right? And then I just heard a sea wave, and I saw Eddie the Eagle, so I thought he was hiding because he was ashamed of us or whatever. So they eventually, came along, and we wasn't giving them much to cheer about. And the second question, as far as, me working with my coaches been with me for quite a while, so they know me well, and I put a significant responsibility on them, and they really kind of sub. They're responsible for the substitute patterns a lot. And then I'll go to them and say, hey, what you think about this? What you think about that? And they know me long enough, and if they say yay, then I'll do it. And if they say no, sometimes I'll veto and do it anyway, right? Because I make some executive decisions. But I fully trust those guys, and those guys are head coaches and waiting at programs in the future.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just want to start by saying, blessed to be in this situation. It's fun to still be playing in March. It's games come down to the wire. So it's like, with that first half run, it was kind of like we just all didn't want to leave with no regrets. We all wanted to go out there and play our hardest, and whatever the outcome was, it was. But we just knew at the end of the day we left it out on the court. So once somebody got a steal, we all just kind of thrived off that and just played off that.
In reality, I feel like it just came down to, settling down and being relaxed. I feel like to start the game, everybody was a little bit riled up and excited to be in the moment. And it's March, and I get it. I'm sure my teammates understand it now. And I just feel like, once the first half got over with and we see we was down 6, everybody kind of settled down. It was like, all right, we gave them their best. They gave us their best shot. Now it's time for us to give them their best shot. And, we got comfortable and made plays at significant times.
Thank you.
All right, sir.
Luke Williams from the Black House Sports Stage. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is the best game Deontay is 8 for 11, 2 for 3 from 3, 8 for 8 from the line, 26 points. Is this his best game? Is this the best you've seen him?
He's had a couple of good ones off the top of my head, and I know he can run them off. He played really well at James Madison, really well against Eastern Shore at their place last time. And go ahead and run it off. Don't act like you, boy. You know every.
This is your best game now?
Yeah, I would definitely say this is one of my best games. Yeah.
What was the mentality?
Really to just come out and give it my all as a senior. This is my last ride, so it's like I don't really have any more left to give. So I just told my teammates I'm gonna give it all, and I hope they're down with me to give it all too.
Not to mention this is former team, so I'm sure a little bit of that plays a part into it too, right? It's just a little bit, right? And so, congrats to him. I'm proud of him.
Go ahead, sir.
William Thompson of the Durham Sports Commission. First off, congratulations.
Thank you.
Proud of a current student.
Yes, sir.
But can y'all take us kind of into the breaks and also the timeouts and kind of take us through the story of what was going on, the energy, the talks. How did y'all feel? How did y'all ramp up the momentum and all things like that?
My job is pretty much to be the opposite of whatever they are, If they high, then, I'm telling them, no, maintain focus. If they low, then I'm kind of encouraging them a little bit more. It's so different because no one on our team has won a championship. So that's the challenge. And I told them our collective challenge is going to be, I haven't won a championship with you guys, right? So that's our challenge. And so oftentimes you can talk all you want, but it's like you don't quite understand until you actually go through it, right? And so I tried to let them get a feel last night where they could come and see the cheerleaders and see the dance contest and the jumbotron and the cameras and the spotlights, et cetera, just so they could get a feel. Hopefully now they have a true feel because we got a game under our belt and we've been fortunate enough to play tomorrow. So hopefully the nerves that were existing today will not show and permeate themselves early in the game tomorrow. Because if you look at this tournament, you've seen a lot of teams, they don't have the same look, right? And a lot of that is the shocker, right? This is a tough league, and with all due respect to, it's a lot of transfers in this league now. So with all due respect to everyone that came from wherever they came with those respective programs, this is a different monster right here, right? When they throw that ball up, like no one cares who finished this place and who finished that. Nobody cares about the seed. The only thing that matters is a mustard seed, and you better have some faith and put some work to it and hopefully have a significant outcome. So that's what we tried to do.
Any further questions? Thank you, Coach. Thank you,
Thank you,
student
guys.
athletes as well. Congratulations on the win. And
Thank
we'll
you.
be back here tomorrow to play against
Appreciate you.
Delaware State. At this time, we will hear from the University of Maryland Shore, who fell short to North Carolina Central University with a score of 76-83. We are joined by head coach Cleo Hill Jr. and his student athletes, Dorian Staples and Zion Obama. Coach, we'll begin with you with the opening statement, and then we'll open the floor for questions whenever you're ready.
Yep. First, let me congratulate Coach Moulton and his staff and his team. They did a great job, not only this game, for most of the year. It's always weird playing against them, but we managed to compete against each other. But he's done a great job. As I'm an alum of North Carolina Central, he's done a great job for the Eagles.
Thank you, Coach. We are now opening the floor for questions for student athletes and head coach. Sir?
Coach, when you think about the two games during the regular season, 2-point game, 4-point game, that today went to overtime, what was similar from today to those two games, and what do you think was different?
Well, I think both games, up in Durham and in Princess Anne, it came down to late game execution on both ends. I'm sure Coach Moulton is dealing with it, and a lot of coaches around the country. When you're bringing so many new guys, and we had 12 together, things like that, they take time. You hope they don't take a whole season. But for me, the execution of it late game, and even today, we did some good things to execute to get into overtime. But I think the poise in overtime was lacking on our part, and I don't think it was on their part.
Coach, talk about the start that went on to open the game, 26.
Pardon?
The 20-6 start to open the game.
We started off hot. I thought we played off a lot of emotion early in the game. There's some things we wanted to execute early. We wanted to try to take some time off the clock and press a little bit, not necessarily trying to get some steals, and we got some steals early. Uncharacteristic of us, we kind of went offense, defense, substitution a lot earlier than we have in the past, but we thought we had the depth to do it. And I thought it played well for us. Then we kind of got careless with the basketball. They got some energy and momentum with their press and got back into the basketball game.
I'll go again, Coach. When you take a step back, and I know it might be hard right now, and look at the season as a whole compared to your first year with UMES, your second year, what do you think the biggest step for the program took?
Well, I think recruiting. We kind of dipped into the CIAA with Zion Obama and the SIAC with Dorian Staples. I thought those were some big keys for us to go into those leagues and get some Division II guys that I think can play at this level. Underachieved, I would say, but I think still some big steps from last year to this year, and we just got to hope to build on it next year.
Luke Williams from the Black Power Sports Page.
Okay, Mr. Williams, how's it going, sir?
Just Luke.
I know.
Dorian, talk about, take us through that shot that sent it to overtime.
I feel like it was more of we practice every day. After practice, we take extra shots every day, and from those spots, and coach put us through some drills every day to make sure, like, you know what I'm saying, like, we keep our shot sharp. On point guard, we ain't had no timeouts. Point guard told me, Michael Till told me to stay on his right side, and that's what we did. And he passed me the ball, and I just took a shot, and what happened to go in.
You knew it was good when back in hand?
So I was hoping. Well, yeah, we practice that every day, so I feel like the work was shut.
Coach, do you think there was a turning point of the game? Because you did have the momentum. Looked like your team had more energy to start. Was it their run to finish the half to kind of even things out? What do you think?
I thought it was a little earlier than that. We had some careless turnovers during that stretch. I think sometimes they were pressing, sometimes they weren't. We kind of got ahead of ourselves with momentum. You get up 20-6, you want to kind of blow the door open, and in tournament play it just doesn't work like that. We told the guys before the game, if you're up by 20, don't relax, and if you're down by 20, don't panic. And I thought we got up, and I thought we wanted to try to lower the hammer, and made some careless mistakes, and they got back in the basketball game.
You get to HBCU game day. For both of the players, you came here this year to play for Coach. Just what have you guys learned under his tool this year, and what do you take with you, both of you guys seniors?
For sure.
Yeah. I'd say it's just beyond basketball with Coach Hill. Like, character development, like he teaches us how to be a good person, like how to, even when it's basketball, he implements like just life lessons, and that, to me, I feel like that's going to stick with me for the rest of my life and make me a better man that I was before coming into UMES.
Yeah, especially outside, like I said, outside of basketball. Not really outside of basketball. I told Coach, like, before the season was even, like, we was in November, December, I said, I might not want to go pro. I might want to be a coach. Coach Cleo, you know what I'm saying? He told me that, I can, he helped me out and, stuff like that. Like, he's always been a great guy to us, and every day, and he always talked to us, and especially he brings us in the office, tells us like how much we need to work and do this, and it's just he's just an amazing guy. Like I love that I came here and played for him. It's been the best decision I ever made.
Kenyatta Will, Dr. Bills inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Coach, I want to ask you in terms of conference play. Started off really well in terms of some strong victory. It seemed like there was a break that went in that was out of control in terms of the weather. Things went in a different direction. You really gather yourself. Can you talk about that? How much of the break when you're trying to play basketball, or was it some other things that you're willing to talk about?
I mean, I've heard the whole weather thing. There's some merit to that. I just thought we got away from some things that we were doing during that 4-0 streak. Did we get overconfident? Possibly. We did have some injuries, not to our main offensive guys, our main glue guys, particularly wings. Either it was an injury or a sickness or, it was something with all of them, and these two guys had to step up and play different positions and learn different positions. Zion had to learn how to play the 4-5 and Dorian the 3-4-5. And learning all of those positions from offense, defense, out of bounds, underneath, side out of bounds, press offense, it's a lot. And when those guys came back, they kind of got back to their natural position. And we had some close games against Norfolk and Compton, and we ended up beating South Carolina State. So we were getting back into the swing of things, and then had some tough losses to Central and Del State. to end the season, which was really, really rough. And we thought we'd, be back to normal coming back into conference play. And, we played well at times, and sometimes we didn't. So, all in all, I thought it was a solid season. Again, underachieving, but I hope the guys got something out of it in terms of both of them talked about kind of life after basketball and growing up. They're not teenagers. They're grown men now, going out into the world. And, hopefully they can take some life lessons from this basketball thing and apply it to life.
One last question for the players. Can you talk a little bit about transfer from this perspective? What is the challenge that you experienced taking that opportunity, and what was the benefit or that you had going through that challenge?
Could you break that question down just a little bit one more time?
Yes, my apologies. I wanted to ask you about the transfer portal.
How was the process?
Moving from one league to the other league for a different league.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about what was positive for you in terms of that, and what was the challenge for you in that?
Challenge is really minimum, but like positive. As you know, me and Coach, we played in the same league, so he already knew how I already played. We already had that connection before we even, when I entered the transfer portal, he wasted no time hitting me up. Wasted no time, and I wasted no time committed to him. So I already had a good feeling. I wanted to win this for him. Fortunately, we came up short, but I'm taking a lot of knowledge from him. Yeah. So.
For me, it was the challenges. It was like these leagues are really similar. The SIAC and the MEAC are very similar. It's just like maybe the wings were maybe a little quicker, a little more athletic. So the challenges were trying to kind of adjust into that. And I'll say the positives were that, like, I did play in another HBCU league, so I knew what to expect and how HBCU ball goes. And when I transferred, went in the portal, I hit up Coach Beckwith. He took my number and we talked, and then Coach Cleo didn't waste no time. Saying he offered me, and I committed, and we came here, and we try to make some things happen. We had a great summer, and we just came up short.
Coach, you have all the senior leadership, 7 guys now that most likely move on, like you said, in the world. How do you go about replacing that going in?
Well, the transfer portal has already started. A lot of Division II guys are jumping in there like popcorn, and then the Division I's will start coming in, and we'll look at that. We'll look at do we want to do 7 seniors? I love the senior leadership that we had this year, but everybody can't play, and there were some seniors that just didn't get the nod a lot of nights. So it's really, the transfer portal is new, but it's not new. But we probably won't have the JUCO rule, I wouldn't think, coming in this year. So, I've been getting calls. I've just been turning them down right now, just to kind of lock in for the tournament. But it'll be a conversation with the staff, whether we look at more freshmen, whether we look at more Division II, because both of those conferences, the SIAC and the CIAA, are strong, as well as the PSAC. There's a lot of Division II conferences that are strong, and then there's, always the Division I guys looking to transfer laterally up or down. So we'll see. We'll see how we want to build it based on the facts that we got from this year. That we'll take the things that we liked and that we didn't like, and try to improve the team. It's just going to be tough, especially without these 2 guys. It's going to be a tough rebuild with that. But we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine.
Further questions? Thank you guys for attending the press conference. This will conclude UMES's portion.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
Oh, it's gonna be hard getting about the